people? Can you guys see me pretty good? Okay, so I want to share with you a prophetic dream that I had roughly 10 years ago. It was, just to be precise, and I just want to show you something real quick. All these papers that you guys see right here, all these right here, these are dreams that I've had since 1999. Well, that I started writing down since 1999. And I want to share with you a particular dream that I had June the 4th of 2000. Okay. A month from now, it's going to be uh, 10 years to be precise. And just recently, the Lord led me to the stream. I was, praying and asking the Lord to, speak to me. One of the things I asked the Lord when I asked him to speak to me, I told Lord, show me something that's going to happen in the future that is not, spoken of right now, or that we're not seeing, or, you know, anything of that nature. I'm gonna tell you why, because a lot of people, I hear, a lot of people prophesying or give a prophetic word when there's an event happening, right? And just to put it into perspective, what I'm talking about is like, when President Trump was running for the presidency, or even now, you got people, giving prophetic word that, oh, he's gonna, the Lord spoke to me and he's gonna get, do, he's gonna be in office another 4 years and whatnot, right? So, and I'm not saying that God does not, it's not, God is not speaking to those people. I'm not saying that either. But what I am saying is that sometimes we get caught up, in the moment. And I think a lot of times we're led by our emotions. And I think I can speak for all Christians that we have fallen under that in one way, in one shape or form, um, in different aspects. Okay. So for me, it's important that when I'm gonna give a prophetic word, I don't want to give a prophetic word when we aren't in the moment, unless you know God chooses to. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna ask God, for that prophetic, for prophetic word, for that moment. What I mean, I'm not gonna say that either. But what I am saying is that, let me move this back here a little bit. Okay, right there. Okay, what I am saying is this. This is what I'm saying is that I want God to speak to me of things that are yet to come, that it's not a topic now. Or maybe it can be a topic, but it's not something that has been, actively been in the it's not it in the movement. I mean, it's not in the moment, in the now. I mean, something that, like something big, right? So let me get to it. Okay, and if you can see right here, that's the number 12. Okay, and the reason why I'm showing that is because I number all my dreams. Apart from me numbering them, by the date, you see right here, by the date, I also number them by number, so I can be able to identify, faster and quicker. And this is like chicken scratch, right? You see my writing, okay? Because a lot of times, I don't wait until the morning until I write my dreams down. What I do is that, if I wake up, and I'm thinking of a dream, I write it down right there and then, because um, by the morning I might forget a lot of details. I have even forgotten about dreams. So, anyways, let me share this dream with you. And in this dream, I find myself in this tunnel, and there's the stairs that lead down to this tunnel, and there's roughly like two or three uh, people with me in this dream. Okay, now I'm gonna summarize for. I'm not gonna read the whole dream, but I'm gonna summarize for you um, without adding to it, okay, to the dream. Besides giving my interpretation, that's totally different. So, and then I see a bunch of kids, like teenagers, coming out of school. And so let me, describe to you the scene. So this is a tunnel, okay, an enclosed tunnel. And as I'm looking out, I can see the street. And outside of this tunnel, there's a passageway on my right and my left in which kids are coming through, and they're, you know, passing through the tunnel. That's what they're doing. And as they're passing, I see cholos, gang members, mad dogging me, giving me dirty looks, you know what I mean? And I get scared, right? And so, some other things happened. I'm not gonna mention because I think they're irrelevant. They might be relevant, but I want to get to my point. So then I find myself running deep into the tunnel, and next thing you know, it gets flooded with water up to my hips. So the other people that are with me, two or three other people, one of them gets shot or stabbed, but we run in deeper into the tunnel, and then I see some people coming out from within the tunnel. So as we're running in, these people are already in and they're coming out. Now I don't know if you guys know, but or seen, but in the canals of your city, when the rain pours down and it starts to flood the city, it goes first to the canal. That's what they're for. So you have the canal, right? But within the canal, you have holes so that when the water is flooding, the canal is rising, it can go through those holes to kind of, to stop it, you know what I mean, from flooding, even though if it's pouring big time, it's gonna, eventually overflow, right? It's kind of like a sink, when you turn it on and you're letting it flood, it has that little hole where it runs through so that way it won't overflood. So in the tunnel, that's where these people were coming from. There were holes inside in which they were coming out through. And so, but we realized that they were soldiers. Now, this is interesting. It's gonna start getting a lot more interesting because I'm gonna read this part to you. Okay, it says, although it was some of our friends, then I realized that they weren't. They were actually troopers coming from behind us to rescue us. Okay. Uh, okay. No. 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 Let me go back because this is when I realized that they weren't our friends, but they were actually our enemies. When all of a sudden a group of soldiers or troopers came from behind us and rescued us. After a while, it seemed as if these soldiers wanted to use us for their own purpose, as if they wanted to experiment with us. I think they wanted to give us a shot. So here you are. The point is this: that there were actually soldiers that came out from deep inside these from the tunnel. You know what I mean? And they got us, but it seems that they wanted to use us for their purpose. That they wanted to experiment with us as if they wanted to give us a shot. The tunnel, soldiers, and shot is what I want to focus on. Because if many of you know that in the U.S. there are tunnels underneath tunnels that the government have created for the martial law uh, for the martial law purpose, among other things, but that's one of them. And so it's interesting because, you know, back then in 2000, I didn't study or I didn't investigate. I was not into politics. I was not into the news or anything like that. And so back then, this dream didn't have any significance to me, but now it does. I'm watching the Floyd riots, okay? And what caught my interest is that you see cops kneeling, like uh, Colin Kaepernick from the 49ers, who was from the 49ers, who took a knee and disrespected, the whole, United States by his unruly um, uh, act of kneeling. And so here you have cops kneeling, taking a knee. But watch this, not only the cops, but also soldiers. There are, images out there of soldiers actually taking a knee. And I find that interesting, but besides interesting, I find that um yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as that. But I'm gonna tell you why I find it interesting. I find it interesting is because these are these are part of the elite. These soldiers and these cops, they're part of the agenda of trampling over the First Amendment, trampling over the Second Amendment, trampling over the Constitution. These are puppets that are being used by Obama, the George Soros, the swamp. These are part of the agenda to usher in a tyrannical government and take your rights away. Because no soldier and no cop in the right mind is going to do that. Take a knee. These cops, these soldiers, and everything that, all these riders, and all these things that were, all these people that we've seen, they're, actors that are playing a big role in all this that's taking place right now, paid for by George Soros, uh, and controlled by Obama and Hillary and the swamp. And so we know that for years they've been trying to find a way where they can inject some type of chip, and we know the purpose of it. But I think they finally figured it out through a vaccination. They figure it out, and I think that the next time something like this happens, there's gonna be some of that, some of that. In the pandemic, there's gonna be some of that, what we're seeing now, attributed to the next pandemic, because they figure it out, and it's a good tactic that they're using, and it's gonna be a shot. They're trying, Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, who is not even a doctor, coming out and saying that we should not come out unless we're vaccinated, and they've been trying to find a way to deposit a chip in us, and unless you have a certificate that you have been vaccinated, then you're not gonna have any rights. And I'm gonna go into that some other time, but right now I just want to focus on this dream because this ties in. The soldiers are gonna be playing. They're gonna play a big part because it's gonna become a a military state governed country. When the military comes in, acting as a police, that becomes a military state governed country in which we can interpret it as the martial law. And they're gonna be snatching you, and they're using all these kids right now because the majority we see them, they're young adults going out there causing havoc. You know what? These kids that I saw on my right and my left coming out, these are kids. There's all these riders, the majority, Antifa, the BLM, they have been, schooled. They have been trained. They have been taught. Antifa, the BLM, and they're part of it. So this dream that I was given to 10 years ago, which next month it will be, 10 years exact. And it's interesting because it was given to me July 4th on Independence Day, the independence of, the United States. And yet our rights are going to be taken. They will come for you. They will give you that shot, whether you like it or not. They're going to pretend to be your friends. It's interesting because it says right here, I thought it was some of our friends when I realized uh, that they weren't, that it is our enemies, right? And then it goes on to say that all of a sudden a group of soldiers or troopers came from behind us. That was them all along, right? Because at first I thought it was my friends, but they weren't. They were actually the soldiers. I realized that no, these are not my friends. These are soldiers. And it seemed as if these soldiers wanted to use us for their own purpose, as if they wanted to experiment with us. I think they were going to give us a shot. I'm going to tell you, they're going to give us a shot. They're going to come after you. They're going to pretend that you're friends, just like the fake news media, just like CNN. They are pretending to be your friends. They are not your friends. Don't think that they are for you. Don't think that they are the political party of the people. Don't think that they are for the people because they're not for you. Wake up, think for yourself, do your own homework, do your investigation. Because before all this, it's been roughly 5, 7 years for me that I started to do my own investigation. I started to listen to independent reporters because before whatever news was on TV or whatever news I will find on the internet, that's what I made my news. That's what I read. That's what I believed. They had me up and down. They write one article about one thing, and then, and next thing you know, they'll write, a different article, and they just had me up and down, up and down. They had me like a puppet, up and down, right? That's how they had me. Literally, that's how they had me. But I started listening to other people. I started, coming across, other articles, other, independent reporters, and I started listening to what they're saying. But then I took it upon myself to actually go and see if what they're saying is actually true, and lo and behold, it is. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not the brightest or smartest individual in the planet, but I have a brain, and I'm gonna use it, and I hope that you can use it as well. I got videos of many things that I'm spoken of that I can share with you if you're interested in knowing the truth. But my purpose of showing, of sharing this with you is so when it does happen, you can remember. Why do I want you to think of me? No, I want you to think of this. That all this is already predestined before the foundations of the world. God spoke of it. This dream has a lot of biblical content. How so? Because how you think the mark of the beast is going to come about? You think people are going to receive it, freely? Oh, yeah, yeah. Because there's going to be those that don't want to receive it. And guess what? They're going to be forced to. I know that the Bible speaks about that those who get, the mark of the beast, we know the end result of it, right? But what if you don't want to get it and then they forced you, right? If God is not going to forgive you, is He going to assign you a portion with, the wicked? Is He going to remove, the your name from the book of life? Are you gonna, you know, not be pardoned? Um, Actually, if they forced you, God's gonna say, "Well, I don't know." No, because I'm sure they're gonna force some people. They're gonna force, you're gonna have to get it, and if you don't, you will die. they will kill you, because that's what they, it's gonna, come down to. Especially if you're a Christian, you will die, and if you don't, then you're not gonna be able to, buy or sell, because that chip. That's why they're putting five G towers. I'm gonna tell you why they're putting 5G towers. Let me just charge my phone because it's about to die. But I'm gonna share with you real quick why they are putting 5G towers, and it's just gonna shock you. The reason why I'm gonna pick this up. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up real quick because I'm about to finish. But the reason why they're putting 5G towers is because those 5G towers kind of like a microwave when you turn it on. And so what they're gonna do, they're coming out with this vaccination that has like 4 or 5 microscopic fine points, that when they vaccinate you, it leaves you like a little tattoo. But the little tattoos, it's gonna, the 5G is gonna be able to detect it. Why do you think they want the 6 feet distancing? Because if you're close, they're not gonna be able to identify you. So when you vaccinated, they're gonna be able to identify you've been already vaccinated, because COV means certificate of COVID ID, certificate of identification. 19, when you put it together, is IA or AI, artificial intelligence. Oh yeah, AI, because 19, number one is A and number nine is I, AI. They want to use artificial intelligence, AI robots, to monitor us, and they're gonna be used for a lot of things. They're trying to come up with that. So, um, and with that, that's why they're trying to come up with one world currency. They're trying to come up with one world education, one language, and that's the part of Agenda 2030 that it speaks of in the Bible. That lead are trying to implement, which the Bible speaks about that, because that's part of the New World Order, as part of the Antichrist. Amen. And it's mentioned already in the Bible. So, with that being said, I wanted to share this dream with you, and take note when you see the soldiers running around. We're already starting to see them due to this riot, and they're using this riot. They're using this this event. The elite are using it to try to usher in their agenda and push their agenda. So be careful, stay alert, stay praying, stay close to God, don't lose hope, don't fear, trust in God. God bless you.